Inclusivity is an important part of sports, not just here in the CNMI during the Pacific Mini Games, but all the time in all sports everywhere in the world. Para-athletes from Fiji got in some last-minute training at the newly resurfaced Atta track. About 15 para-athletes will compete in this year's Pacific Mini Games. The Solomon Islands, Papua New Guinea, and New Caledonia will also send para-athletes to compete in the Games. Tom O'Shaughnessy, the competitions manager of Oceania Athletics, says para-athletes will compete in 5 sports.
The 100 metres for ambulant competitors, men and women, 400 metres for wheelchair athletes, so men and women, a secured shot put for men and women, and ambulant javelin and an ambulant shot put for men and women. So it's a big program.
This year will feature a new addition to the program, he says.
So first time we've had wheelchair racing here, so there's been a secured, like a seated throw in the last few editions, but the first time we'll ever have wheelchair racing at the Pacific Games. So just trying to expand the para program. There's a lot of para athletes across the Pacific that are looking for competition. Some will be heading to the Commonwealth Games, but the Pacific Mini Games and the Pacific Games are realistically the biggest thing for them. So yeah, just adding to the program.
Tom, why do you think it's important to have para-athletes included in these games?
I just think it's a way of life. It shows that young kids with a disability can come out and do something. It's so nice to be able to see those athletes, whether it's NMI or people watching from back home, that they can aspire to be something. And that's one thing great about the Pacific Games is get to take it all around the Pacific, and athletes, young up and coming athletes, can see the top of their game in the sport and aspire to be something. And that's what we want to do with the para-athletics here.
Ronak Lal manages the para-athletics team from Fiji and talks about what it has taken to get to the Games.
Yeah, a lot of hard work, a lot of sacrifices, and a lot of tiptoeing around COVID restrictions, requirements, if you want to put it that way.
How many athletes do you have coming in from Fiji for the para-athletes?
For para games, we've got 3 athletes. We've got Naindili Watanisolo, who's our shot putter, female shot putter. And she's also the flag bearer for Team Fiji for the opening ceremony. We've got Jimmy Onitoro, he's a men's ambulant 100-meter sprinter, and we've got Yusuf Rakesa, who is a javelin thrower.
My name is Naindili Watanisolo. I'm proud to be representing my country.
And tell me about what you've been doing today.
I've been practicing my throws today, techniques, and how to stand.
Okay, and what do you think of the competition?
Just looking forward, and hopefully I will try and do my best.
And how do you feel to be here representing Fiji?
Oh, it's a big honor. It's a big honor. We're at the back of we're behind the athletes, so it's a bigger honor for them. But we're just grateful to be here, to be part of Team Fiji and representing our countrymen and our country in a competition which is far away from home, but it feels like home because the weather is really nice.